Hello everyone, OneGamer54 back in with another video, and it's December, guys. It's December. You know what that means? No, not Christmas. Another FNAF book to read. Yep, while everyone's out doing Christmas shopping, FNAF has released another book for all of us to read and sit back, as this book makes the deepest fears become reality. I can feel the great feeling of this Christmas spirit. You guys already know what the deal is by now. I will be giving you my honest opinion about each story here, and all the read-throughs will be happening to my second channel, Alex the Wolf, which I will leave a description down below, a link in the description down below. Man, I haven't even finished book one, and I just got started reading the final book of book two. Now I got another book to read about this. I'm gonna be very busy this Christmas, especially in my second channel. Now, I will say this, okay? I'm gonna make this excruciatingly clear, alright? So, alright, listen to me, guys. I can't guarantee I will not spoil the stories, okay? I wrote this script at like 1:15 a.m. in the morning on the day the book released, which I think it was, yeah, it was on a Tuesday, 1:15 a.m. So I'm just writing down a rough summary of what I just read. That being said, that being said, if you don't want to know what happened in the stories, and if you haven't read it, because honestly I felt like I gave you guys time to read it, now is the time to get off the video. I repeat, if you have not read the stories, this video is not for you, and you should either get the book yourself, either online or at your local bookstore, or wait for my read-throughs on the second channel. With that being said, relax, sit back, grab some popcorn as we begin. The first story we're going to start off with, and I kid you not when I say this, it's the title story. I am just as shocked as you guys are, because the last two books, we didn't start off with the title story. So far, the main title story has always been the second of the stories, but it looks like on the third one, Somniphobia, I can't pronounce that to the life of me, will be taking center stage here today. So, there you go, guys. If you didn't want to read, if you just wanted to skip to the main story, don't worry, book 3 got you covered. Anyways, at the beginning of the story, a couple goes to a yard sale hosted by a family whose son, Josh, fell into a coma. One of the items for sale is a broken Moondrop's dream sphere. Fun fact, Moondrop and I got beef. I beat that guy in Security Breach, and I made that creepy fool got all the pain he had coming to him. I'm okay. The story then focused on a high school senior, Sam, Red, and his friends on their trip to the Mega Pizzaplex on Rad's birthday. They pooled their tickets to buy Moondrop's Dream Sphere, a device that takes information from your subconscious and brings it more clearly into view, by slipping you in a hypnotic state in order to focus better. The sphere has a model of Moondrop within it. The friends decide to use the device to help them study for school. For an example, using the device on their world history class notes delivers information from the notes to the brain. The friends decide to share the device among them, with Sam getting to use it first. For a week. I already felt bad vibes when I read that sentence. After the death of his father, Sam became paranoid, keeping a strict diet and avoiding risky tasks. His room is filled with books on health and as well as pictures of his dad. The dream sphere warns that it can only be used for 10 minutes a day, so Sam set an alarm to know when to pull out the experience. Unfortunately, as it comes to these types of devices, Sam gradually became obsessed with the experience that the sphere provides, so he ignored the alarm and used the sphere past its time. Sam finds himself in a memory with his father when he was a kid. This only strengthens his resolve to see his dad each day with the sphere. And man, oh man, it gets worse from here. Over time, the sphere consumes Sam. Whenever he's at school, away from the sphere, he feels disconnected from reality and unfocused. He only feels safe when he's next to the sphere, and eventually, after some time in activity, becomes paler and weaker. So he's becoming dependent on this sphere to see his dad. And you guys can already tell what it's going to be. One day, Sam receives a memory of his father advising him to step outside from his comfort zone and find new experiences that he may enjoy. Sam realizes that his paranoia and fear of danger would have disappointed his father. He tries to turn the dream sphere off, but it thrusts him into a memory of his dad's death. I kid you not, that's what happened. He panics and forces the dream spheres off, vowing to return the sphere to Rad. Sam goes to Rad's house and waits for him to return home. He notices that the dream sphere suddenly feels warm and is pulsing in his hand. His obsession with the sphere overtakes his mind again, and not wanting his last memory of the sphere to be his dad's death, Sam asks for one last experience with the sphere. And that's where I let through my hands up from my bed as I read that. I mean, I get it. I know he wanted to see his dad and all. But sometimes giving a thing that literally was causing you a pain and suffering a second chance, it's like you love pain. Once again, pulled into the dream, Sam experiences a memory of his father alive and well. Suddenly, the phone in the real world goes off, angering Sam because this reminds him that he is currently experiencing a mere dream. Sam tries to pause the dream to turn off the phone, but he comes to a more troubling realization. The dream sphere needed to be connected to power for it to work, but he never connected it here. Sam tries fruitlessly to escape the dream, but provoked by this intruder, Rad's dog attacks Sam's body in the real world until Moondrop appears, and suddenly Sam feels completely at peace. Moondrop beckons for Sam to follow him. Meanwhile, in the real world, the Moondrop in the dream sphere slowly stops spinning. So you can guess what happened. Let's see. A child did. Dang it, Moondrop, you creepy and scary in the books as you are in the games. And it's not even the animatronic that did it. It was the dog that did it. The dog ended him. Like, god dang. But anyways, yes. I'm just going to give this story a 8 out of 10 because I just genuinely felt bad for Sam. Like, this man wanted was to spend time with his dad that got taken away from him too soon. And then Moondrop decided to just crush this man's spirit. Using the image of his father, no less. Like, bro, what the heck? That's just evil. Anyways, the next story we're going to be talking about is Pressure. In this story, high school seniors Luca, Asher, Nolan, and Maddie visit Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex and enter the urban legend players, I think, auditorium. I'm reading this off from the phone. The game requires the players to put on a costume from the costume closet and then act out the role-play scenario in one of the sets. Luca believes in the video games and role-playing scenarios were created by Fazbear Entertainment to reenact the rumors associated with the company. In order to delude the public from believing in them, Luca also believes that Fazbear Entertainment had covered up the murders of the children in their restaurants and the animatronics that were haunted by their ghosts, but his friends call him a conspiracist. He has a desire to be a hero after his best friend was murdered when he was a child. Yeah, so... Yep. Anyway, his friends chose the scenario as the Green-Eared Killer, where dream teens who break into Fazbear Fright's haunted house have to escape before Springtrap kills them. Luca is against being Springtrap because he knows the story of Springtrap from the Fazbear mythology. Yep, because apparently now everything that we know so far has become... You know, I'll technically buy a Fazbear mythology if it explains the lore. But anyways, the book literally describes a man called William Afton. Boom, called it. They called out the man, they called out the behemoth himself, who had kidnapped and murdered children at Fazbear Pizzeria, Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria, I'm sorry, who died in the suit but came back to life, becoming Springtrap. However, his friends peer pressure, there it is. They peer pressure him into putting the costume on. As Luca put on the costume, he noticed uneasily that it was bright and smells awful. Luca notices the security guard named Earl creepily watching some little girls. I am also feeling creeped out when I read that sentence, okay? But his friends push him to ignore Earl. His friends pull him into a staging area of the role-playing room, which was originally Freddy Fazbear's Pizza with some elements from the Fazbear Fright's haunted house. Luca, as Springtrap, starts in the safe room, and his friends all have to reach the same door to exit and win the game. As he chases his friends, parts of the suit clamp onto his body and cause him to bleed. He tries to take the suit off, but more parts in the suit puncture his body. Luca realizes in horror that he is wearing the original Springlock suit, and that he could very easily die in the suit like William Afton did. And unfortunately for my boy, he ain't William Afton, so yeah, it will be game over for him. He tries to tell his friends what is happening to him, but the head of the suit soon clamps down and fills his mouth with blood, making him unable to communicate with him. In anger, he chases his friends to talk to them, but they believe he was acting. Bro, what the heck? As more and more Springlocks are triggered, Luca remembered a memory of his father, warning him against peer pressure. With all the damage done to his body, he's surprised that he's even still alive. Even with a foggy consciousness, Asher, Nola, and Maddie leave the game, believing that Luca would come after them. Luca tries to follow them, but he hears a voice back in the set and he feels compelled to investigate. He finds Earl wearing a cheap Springlock costume along with the little girls. Driven by anger, he frees the girls and chokes Earl to DED. After he DED, Luca dies as well. Nothing in his inner compass was working, and killing Earl was his own choice. Yep, that's book 2. That's story 2. So let me just firstly say that Asher, Nolan, and Maddie ain't crap. Because they literally peer pressure my boy, Luca, to ensure this Springlock pain. Honestly, I was kind of hoping for them to get their fates too. Like, honestly, honestly, it feels... You know what, I'm not even going to say it. As for Earl, I'll be honest when I say that I was reading his parts, it was making my hair raise. Like, and not in a great way. Like, I think Earl was either a follower of William Afton, or maybe he wanted to be William Afton, or he's just... I don't even know if I can say it on YouTube. Just know it's someone who likes kids a little way too out of pocket. That's all I'm gonna say. How can I say it? Think Alien versus Predator, but minus Alien versus. And that's what you get. I'm not going to elaborate more. As for Luca, thank you for taking down Earl. I have my thumbs up in approval. I'm sorry, but Luca just had me invested in him more. And since this book kind of called out the behemoth that is William Afton, I'm giving this story an 8 out of 10. Alright. We are already like 13 minutes in this video right now, 14. So, we're in the final story, guys. And as I wrote it down, I have noticed that this title has in some way related to phobias in some way. Like, Somniphobia is about fear of sleeping. Like fearing of nightmares or passing in their sleep. Yeah, that kind of happened already. The second story, obviously talking about peer pressure. And now the third book is going to continue the train of Clinophobia. I believe that's what it's called. Which is fear of being trapped. Oh boy, this is going to be one of those stories, isn't it? So, the story starts with a group of 7th graders touring around the opening of the Pizzaplex, deciding to visit each location on the map before choosing the first attraction they'll go in. They peer over the maps and they read the attractions. The Urban Legends Role-Playing Auditorium, which is the place where the last story took place. Freddy's Fortress, the one where the one where Haps took place, and the AR booth, which I believe that's what happened in the third story in the first book. Yeah. Among other attractions, one friend pointed out Bellora's Fitness and Flex is listed as an attraction in the index but doesn't have a location on the map. Now, you heard me correct. Bellora's Fitness and Flex. It is Bellora. It is who some believe to be Mrs. Afton. But, we're not going to go there. Anyways, confused, a friend suggested it was part of the original plan of the Pizzaplex, but wasn't finalized. They forgot about the map and go on the roller coaster ride. The story then goes 5 months earlier. Pizzaplex technicians Grady, Ronan, and Tate were working on the construction of the Pizzaplex. So this is interesting. We're going to know about what happened during the construction of the Pizzaplex, which is, building it on top of the destruction of the pizzeria from FNAF 6 or Pizzeria Simulator. Grady wants to finish all the inspections today so he would be free tomorrow, but Ronan and Tail prefer to wait till tomorrow to finish. They decided to leave and let Grady work alone, despite the protocol stating no employee should be alone. Grady's final inspection was Bellora's Fitness and Flex, a vertical attraction where players must squeeze their way through increasingly narrow tubes to reach the bottom. As a form of exercise, Grady has Somniphobia, the fear of being trapped in small spaces, due to a babysitter locking him in the closet when he was young. I will say this: if any babysitter out there is literally currently making someone go to locking them in the basement, you're getting a smack in the face. That's all I'm gonna say. However, he still wants to test the attraction to make sure no child would ever undergo the same trauma as he did. That was very noble. When he enters, Bellora appears, telling him that if he gets stuck, she will help him. Grady gets stuck in the third of the way down. He calls for Bellora and she appears in the tube, grabbing his hands tight and pulling him down the bend with so much force that his shoulder hurts. Grady waits for Bellora to leave before continuing to go down the narrow tubes himself. As he makes his way down quietly so Bellora doesn't hear or try to help him again, Bellora glitches and asks if he needs help when he doesn't sense movement. She then forcefully grabs Grady, breaking all his bones as she pulls him through the narrow tubes. Grady realizes in horror that because he is facing downwards, the blood is pooling in his head. He can't pass out and will instead feel every bit of pain. Like, bro, I'm starting to see that this story, that book 3 is literally the most brutal out of the franchise. Ronan and Tate return to the Pizzaplex because Ronan felt his keys he left his key, and being Grady's friend, Ronan wants to check on Grady because he knows Grady has his phobia. They get to the bottom of Bellora's Fitness and Flex and are horrified to find a horribly disfigured and mutilated Grady still blinking. My boy, he is done. He is done. You can't even recognize this man, and he's still blinking. He's still alive. Ronan wants to call the police, but Tate argues that Grady or his family would sue Fazbear Entertainment for injury, and then Fazbear Entertainment would fire them for breaking the protocol of leaving the employee alone. Ronan and Tate decide to leave him there, hoping that Grady is paralyzed and can't feel any pain. Tate, what is wrong with you? Grady overhears their conversation and doesn't blame them for leaving. However, Grady laments that they were wrong about him being paralyzed and that he's in unimaginable pain. Bellora appears and continues pulling him down the tube. But what's worse is that Grady welcomed it, wanting anyone, even Bellora, the person who is doing this to him, to be there with him because his worst fear was dying alone in this short tubes. Bro, I'm telling you, when I woke up and I woke up in the morning and I saw that, I want action. I want action. I wanted to fight. They really let Grady down to the abyss because Tate was worried about his job. I was going to call out Ronan too, but at least he cared for Grady. Granted, I mean, he also left, but still. It's also very surprising that this story kind of gave us a piece of lore that there could very well be a Glamrock Ballora out there. Like, I'm not sure if people are excited for a Glamrock Ballora, but maybe we could see that in a potential DLC ruin. Now, the story gets an 8 out of 10. I know I've been saying that for the last two stories, but honestly, these stories were very brutal. I can see that book 3 is getting the is so far getting the award of most brutal Tales of the Pizzaplex stories. As a whole, this book, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because these stories got me in the edge of the seats, and the endings just hit you in the gut in a way that you never seen it coming. Before we end the video, and I realize it's a big video, but we still got one thing to talk about. The epilogue. Now, last chance to not get spoiled. 3, 2, 1. The animatronic continue making its way down the hall. Okay, stopping right in the door in the storage room. Everyone tried to remain as still as possible. The light in the room started to flicker. The animatronics moved away from the room. Adrian opened the door and the group slowly moved out. So it is a bad time for everyone. The group started planning on how they escape the pizzeria. Adrian proposed that everyone should split up into pairs and search for potential exit because, of course, let's add a Scooby-Doo reference. Jace had brought a portable drawing tablet with him, which is the group used it for a map out the pizzeria, and choose which rooms each pair will search. Adrian and Jay search for the dining, arcade, lobby, and party rooms. Joey and Wade search for the employees' lounge, storage closet, and furnace room. Excuse me. Hope and Nick search for the backstage, and also the stage as well as the kitchen. And Lucia and Kelly search for the main entrance, office, and bathrooms. As they do their things, they saw the first. It's even funny that, like, it's honestly great that this book also referenced the first generation of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. Those are the ones I think they're talking about, the unwithered versions of the unwithered animatronics, or maybe just FNAF 1's animatronic. But, that's up to your interpretations. Unfortunately, there was a noise that happened, and they thought Joey made the thing trying to be funny in the most inappropriate moment of their lives. Turns out it wasn't him. It was the metal scraping against the wall. It was just a panic, bro. It was a panic. It was just a local thing. Hijinks ensue, many things. But unfortunately, I'm gonna just say this, and I don't know if I want to say it, but Hope tries to go after Nick before he was suddenly shot back out and shot on the ground. His arm was gone. Metallic hands shot out of the closet and strangled Nick. The animatronic, with its black endoskeleton eyes glowing white, decapitated this man, Mortal Kombat style. He held Nick's head in the front of Hope, taunting her. Like, I read that and I was like, hey, yo! It lets Nick's head go and roll on the ground. Oh, that's just brutal. And Hope ran away in terror. Lucia and Callie find a vent in the office only for it to be covered by concrete. Like, Hope just fell on the ground. She just told everyone that Nick's dead. And it's not even over. It's not even over. Oh my goodness. I don't even know if it's just me, but I don't know, man. I'm starting to think Tales of the Pizzaplex is more brutal than Fazbear Frights. This is just horrible, man. This is God. Oh my. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video, comment down below what you would like me to react to, and subscribe so you never miss a video. I'm Juan Gamer 54 signing off.